Hello again everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. We are back here in Val and we have one area left of Val to explore which we haven't gotten to already. I believe we can access it via this side? Oh wait, we've already been here, haven't we? I just realised. Or did we actually go up here? You know what, I don't think we actually came up here. Are we even allowed up here? I don't think we are, you know. I do not believe we are actually allowed to go up to this side of the upper areas, which is sad, but I guess I'm not really surprised. There's always something that's kind of cut off, isn't there? Okay, so I think we're pretty much done in Val Royeaux, to be honest with you. We've done all we can. So I think what we'll do is we'll pop back to Haven so we can use the war room and assign some of our agents again to do some missions if we have any available, and then we will see what our next course of action is after that, because we do have a meeting with a friend of Red Jenny, apparently, from various messages we got. We also got an invitation to meet a mage of some one, I believe. Either way. So do we? So that's the security courtyard to meet a friend of Red Jenny, and that's Vivian Defer, the first enchanter of Monstermars, extended invitation to a salon of the Chateau of Duke Bastien de Ghislaine. That's the Black Emporium, and there's all these areas we have unlocked anyway. But yeah, like I said, first we'll go back to Haven, and we'll use our glorious war table. Oh boy. Ah, look. High Chancellor Roderick. Look at his absolutely fat old face. It may sound harsh, but let's be honest, it's not, is it? Roderick has Roderick has got to be the most distrusting person ever. It's like there's so very few things of logic which can be used with him. It's like you try and use logic to convince him that the Inquisition is the right way to go forward, and the Herald of Andraste is not the guilty party in the explosion of the Conclave. But he is like, no, I am High Chancellor Roderick. I work for the Chantry. I. Sorry, that was very, very aggressive. I sincerely apologise. Too far. Too far for me. Too far. Sorry. Way too far. Way too far. Yeah, let us use the war table in Haven, and we can see what missions we have currently available. I don't know if maybe we are just gonna have to go and send some send some agents for gold again, but we'll see. We may have other alternative options available. As soon as the game loads, because I tell you what, the loading screens in this game are definitely among the most lethal enemies I have fought. In terms of the enemies that will challenge you in this game, the loading screens are by far the most threatening. They are ruthless. But here we go. Right, so we'll have a quick chat to Cassandra just to see if there's any new dialogue.
Do you need something?
I'm not sure if there will be.
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Ah, here we go.
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
I do. But given your beliefs, I'd hardly be surprised if you disagree. Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
Well said, Cassandra. Well said.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
What influence does Chancellor Roderick really wield?
He's a bureaucrat, responsible for communicating the Divine's will to the rest of the Chantry. Therefore,
He does a damn good job of it, doesn't he? Clearly.
On his every word, hoping his influence will benefit them. Despite that, Roderick is not a bad man. He's frightened, and believes his place is to fill the gap left by Most Holy's death. Some might agree. As far down the chain of command as he is, there is no one left above him.
That's a scary thought.
How big a problem could he be?
No more than he is already. He sent his message to the College of Clerics. That is the only card he had to play. Dealing with him further only lends him credibility he doesn't deserve.
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinian?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her at the Conclave.
So what happens if they can't agree on someone?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance, and plenty of such clerics exist.
That's worrying.
We shall see what happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
If they do choose a new divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember? And even if she would, I
A rebel.
do
Wow.
not know. It would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine could expect such obedience now.
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cassandra.
Greetings.
Anything else? Can I ask her about
I
herself
have some
again?
more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about your
Does she
brother.
say anything about...
I
No.
would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
I'll let you get back to work.
Yeah. Bit personal. Cullen, have you got anything else to say since you last disarmed Chancellor Roderick? Ah, here we go.
Why would Templars break away from the Chantry?
The Order believes the Chantry no longer supports their efforts. Not to the extent they should.
Anything I should know?
Is there anything I should know?
The Lord Seeker's actions are a mystery, but the Templars will aid us. They cannot sit idle while the breach remains.
Well, I hope so.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
So I can ask him about the people too.
What do you think of our ambassador?
We have little in common. How she delights in meeting with nobles all day is beyond me. But I enjoy working with her.
That's good, I suppose.
How do you like working with Leliana?
The Inquisition would not exist without her. I may not always agree with her methods, but she's more passionate about our cause than anyone. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition publicly, but Liliana is just as responsible for its formation.
That's true.
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
Our numbers are small, but they suit our needs for the time being. Some Templars have joined us instead of following the Order. They've proven invaluable in training new recruits.
I should let you get back to work.
Well, thank you, Cullen. Our forces are good for the time being, but how long that will be, I don't know exactly. Does Varric have anything new? Probably not, right? Probably got same old stuff going on. Probably not.
I've read your Tale
Less...
of the Champion.
That's a pretty common reaction.
No, never mind.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Varric.
Carry on.
I have a question about Hawk. Carry on. Carry on, carry on. Right, let's us go into the Chantry. What's happening here? I didn't even make it to the war room before something is going to happen. And we're a weird... Oh, here we go. There's a weird combination of the loading screen and the hood there.
It's good you've returned. We heard of your encounter.
It was some encounter, I tell you this.
My agents in the city sent word ahead, of course.
Oh, good. They actually did the job.
It's a shame the Templars have abandoned their senses, as well as the capital.
Going was worth the risk, yeah.
We had to do something, and now we have an opportunity.
Yes, and we have the opening we need to approach the Templars and the Mages.
Do we? Lord Seeker Lucius is not the man I remember.
No, he's a tyrant now.
He has taken the orders somewhere, but to do what? My reports have been very odd.
We must look into it. I'm certain not everyone in the Order will support the Lord Seeker.
Or
I hope
Herald
not.
could simply go to meet the Mages in Redcliffe instead.
You think the Mage Rebellion is more united? It could be 10 times worse.
Ah! I don't... It's hard to see who's more, like... I think the mages have someone more level-headed leading them. See, I'm still inclined to go meet the mages first.
I could at least find out what the mages want.
No doubt what they've always wanted. Support for their cause.
We shouldn't discount Redcliffe. The Mages may be worth the risk.
They are powerful, Ambassador, but more desperate than you realize.
You think the invitation could be some kind of trap?
If some among the rebel mages were responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
The same could be said about the Templars.
True enough. Right now, I'm not certain we have enough influence to approach the Order safely.
Then the Inquisition needs agents in more places. That's something you can help with.
In the meantime, we should consider other options.
Fair enough.
There is one other matter.
Oh god, what's this?
Several months ago, the Grey Wardens of Ferelden vanished. I sent word to those in Orlais, but they have also disappeared.
Oh, that's
Now
great
I
timing.
haven't even considered the idea they're involved in all this, but the timing is curious.
That does sound odd, I agree.
The others have disregarded my suspicion, but I cannot ignore it. 2 days ago, my agents in the hinterlands heard news of a Grey Warden by the name of Blackwall. If you have the opportunity, please seek him out. Perhaps he can put my mind at ease.
And if he can't?
Then there may be more going on than we thought.
Well, it's worth checking out. If the Grey Wardens are someone involved in this, then... Well, it's actually quite concerning, to be honest with you. But, Right, travel to Redcliffe and make contact with the mages in hushed whispers. Right. Right, we'll summon the War Council and send our agents out. And then we'll decide where we want to go first, because we have a lot of potential options here. Not sure which order to take them in, but let's have a look at what our situation is right now. Right, Orlais.
What have your ears heard, Leliana? Anything new we don't already know about? No, nothing.
Oh, good. The Chantry remains. The confrontation with Mother Havara in the Val Royal Market had the desired effect to a point. The Chantry's condemnation of the Inquisition was lost amid a flurry of speculation of the actions of Lord Seeker Lucius, as well as a divide in the opinions of the remaining Chantry clerics. There are, however, clerics still loudly denouncing the Herald of Andraste. The Inquisition could leave them to their speeches, but dealing with them before the Chantry Alexian Divine could be of benefit. These clerics were not at the Conclave for a reason. They all have secrets and weaknesses we should exploit. A delicate hand is needed. We should focus on clerics who can be swayed, make their voices louder than those who oppose us. Or we should send a contingent of Inquisition soldiers to the Grand Cathedral. They can offer protection, and their visibility will remind the clerics that they are not out of reach. Yeah, we'll use Josephine for
Let
this
us
one.
begin.
Her method sounds reasonable, and she's the quickest one too. So, right. What about Ferelden? What's happening in Ferelden? Gather coin report ready. 89. See, there's barely a point in doing that. So we need 15 power to go and see the Templars. Choosing the Templars will make it impossible to work with the mages. Okay, so we'll have to remember that. We need to choose between the two of them. Right. The Cult of Andraste. Before the Fifth Blight and the arrival of the hero Ferelden, Haven was occupied by cultists who worshipped a dragon. One they believed to be Andraste reborn. Both the cultists and their dragon were long gone by the time the Chantry arrived to build the Temple of Sacred Ashes, but there may still be undiscovered passages in the mountains containing their relics. With a concerted search effort, it might be possible to unearth something useful for the Inquisition. This is a task best left to a few select agents knowledgeable regarding dangerous magic. I have just the ones in mind, or I am leery of what we might find in these passages, but we have enough soldiers for a search, so we'll simply need to be careful. I'll use Liliana.
Let's see what we have.
Right, I don't think we've got anything for Cullen to work on for the time being, so... Cool. So we have to choose between the Templars and the Mages again, because if we choose the Mages, can't work with the Templars, and vice versa. Okay, so we unlocked a Codex, apparently. Unlocked a few Codexes. What's, the Grey Wardens? Ah yes, the Blight had ravaged the land for months. The armies of the Great Kings amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky, it illuminated a vast seething horde of a darkspawn with the Archdemon at its head. It was then, when courage seemed to fail and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums and stood before the armies of men. The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the Archdemon was dead and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. Then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds rolled back and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the Great Kings knew that they had lost no men, that none of their blood had been spilled. This is a tale about no battle the Grey Ones have fought in, yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. Adaptation of a Grey Warden legend. The tale outlined above is widely told, although subject to regional variations. Free marches might substitute Great Kings for titles bestowed in their given city-states. In Ferelden, the implied army of Wardens is sometimes replaced with two, representative of the national heroes who fought and defeated the Archdemon and Denrim during the Fifth Blight. The beating of wings is a reference to the griffins the Wardens are said to have ridden into battle. Although griffins went extinct long before the recent blight, they still appear in numerous stories, sometimes serving as a metaphor for the Wardens' unrestrained courage, but also employed to please an eager audience. As Varric knows quite well, you have to dramatize a bit, don't you? Right, the Wrath of Heaven. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn, the sea shall rise and devour them. The wind shall tear their nations from the fact of the earth. Lightning shall rain down from the sky. They shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Canticle of Andraste 7:19. Who was Andraste? This question has lingered in the ages since her death, not as easily answered as the faithful assume. Born Alamari slave in the frontier realm of the Tevinter Emporium, now Ferelden, the chant says she is the bride of the Maker that he told her in a vision of her role leading the rebellion against the corrupt magisters. Is it true, or as some early Andrastian cults believed, did a friendly spirit bestow this vision? We must remember that legends of Andraste were more multitude in the years immediately following her execution, and beliefs we take for granted belong to the cult, victorious in suppressing all others. Indeed, even to suggest there was once disagreement was considered the direst heresy until today, when we have lost even the memory of disagreement. All we know for certain is that Andraste inspired a world gripped by tyranny and chaos, that she helped spark a war which tore all of Thedas asunder. And we have a tale. Probably a tall one too. Once we were, in our peace with our lives assured, once we were not afraid of the dark, once we sat in our kingdom with hope and pride, once we ran through the fields with great strides. We held the fear in the demon's flight so far from our children, from our lives. We held together the fragile sky to keep our way of life. Once we raised up our chalice in victory. Once we sat in the light of our dreams. Once we were in our homeland with strength and might. Once we were not afraid of the night. That is very inspiring. Okay, so thank you all very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will catch you all. That sounds like Darth Vader down the dungeons, Christ. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you in the next episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. Thanks again, guys. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.